Hey again, it's Terrell and Najee back with another brand new review. This time for Kung Fu, the CW series, coming on Wednesday nights. We had the opportunity to watch the first 2 episodes of the second season. And you know what it is? Nicky, Shen, and the gang are back again, and they're up to Kung Fu treachery, as they would say.
Yeah, man. Season 2. First 2 episodes, non-spoilers really quick for you all. The Year of the Tiger, part 1 and part 2. So that's what we're going to discuss a little bit for you all.
Pretty much, like I said, without giving too much away, I mean, everybody's back after the fallout of the first season. If you guys watched that, you know, dealing with certain characters' deaths. I don't want to say it in case you didn't see it. You know, Nicky is back at it again in the neighborhood, trying to figure out, you know, still doing what she was doing from the first season, you know, taking care of everybody, stopping crime. You know, I'm not sure if she's a superhero at this point in the neighborhood, because people are flying across the room like, does she have powers? Does she not have powers? It's very unclear about that. But what did you think about these first 2 episodes?
So this was not a series that I was acclimated with until this opportunity to check them out early. Right. So first off, coming into this completely raw, you absolutely need to go back and watch the first season, which I took time to kind of research and go through as many episodes as I could to kind of get a sense of what this show is. And then upon finishing it, going into this, to me, this embodies the identity of a CW show through in and throughout. It's a show that I again was not aware of it, but it truly, if you just woke up and it was on your TV, you're like, oh, this is a CW show. So it's not a good standalone to jump in season 2. You need to go check out season 1 to really grow with these characters, to understand really the dynamics, especially with our lead. Like, it's super important. But with that being said, I thought that it felt so familiar because I'm just accustomed to so many CW shows. So going into this as a big martial arts fan and knowing with a title Kung Fu that I'm expecting a certain degree of choreography with the fighting, I thought, again, CW does ways of magic, of putting out what I feel is very good production on a television budget. And that's what I took to with this, is that I was always on edge to see when the next fight was, what was going to be, you know, the next dilemma. And we know CW is full of drama. I'm pretty sure that's within their slogan or somewhere, right? But it just kept me on edge to saying, like, you know what? I didn't know about this, but now that I went back and watched it, now that I'm here, I'm liking this. And Nicky is definitely, you know, a very much, like you said, hey, are you a superhero or are you not a superhero? I mean, you're on the CW, so you're probably a superhero, but also you have real life feelings and predicaments going on, but you just know how to kick butt unbiasedly.
Right, and like you were saying, like the CW, for whatever reason, it just has a certain look to it. Like any show, the way it's filmed, like the sets, like it just looks like a CW show from the Flash, Arrow, all that stuff. Not that they look the same, but like they just feel a certain way. Even with the dialogue, like, because this is this is what, a demographic of like 16 to 35, 40, I guess. So they do have a certain, you know, reach towards people. But the one big thing I said, you know, that I really like about the show is there's like little to no white people in it. It's like this is straight up an Asian American show, man, and I really love it. That the representation of this show is heavy. Like, you know, just like what we're getting now with a lot of African American shows, a lot of black shows, is we're seeing like a lot of different cultures with the same stuff that everybody goes through, you know, sexual identity, you know, jobs, stuff like that, but just in a different setting, like everybody's going through it. So I really like that they're taking the time to really show that there's more to Asian people than obviously, you know, the stereotypical Asian restaurant that they have going on here. But these people are way more diverse than what has been shown over the last 30, 40 plus years. And I looked at a lot of the cast and crew behind the show, and it's a lot of Asian Americans, man, that's got their hand in the writing, the direction, and I'm really feeling that, man. So I really hope that they get more out of this, man, because I can see if they get more time, they can really put something special on this, because this is leagues away different from the original Kung Fu show with David Carradine. Like, if you go back and watch that, like, what is that? Like, you know what I mean? So it's really good. But the episode itself, like I said, without talking to it, I mean, like I said, the family's trying to get back into a sense of normalcy after that whole whole situation last season, and the mom is, this is the Chinese New Year for them, so they're trying to maintain and get everything together because, like I said, Nicky's still being Nicky and wanting to be the detective while fighting crime in the alleys of San Francisco.
Yeah,
it's so weird, right?
A place I've never been, but man, you would thought by all the years of Full House that's a very peaceful place, but apparently not.
Ain't no crime out there. It's like Bel Air, man. Nobody go. But I really dig in the show, man. I definitely want to continue to watch it forward. And like I said, I hope it does well because, I really want to see more of these shows, with the diversity get picked up. Because like I said, if you let them handle their stuff, you definitely get something good. Even though it's on the CW and they got to follow a certain mandate, unfortunately. But it still came out pretty good. I really loved the episode. The action is pretty good. Now, I don't know if they're doing this intentionally, but they have like that old school fighting movie style where people are like in the air for like 2-3 seconds. I was like, what?
Right. It is, and I like that, the homage to the classics, but it does reek of the drama and the dramatics that the CW likes to provide. Rather and when you're right, when you look deep down within the cast, it's super diverse. There's a lot of Asian Americans, if not 95% of it. There's some folks with names that there was no picture, so I wasn't able to tell. But yes, there is still somebody that's signing off checks in CW that still wants to make sure that feel and that level of exaggeration is across the board. And that's where, like I said, it reeks of the CW identity, but it still feels like its own. And there's a great appreciation for the story that's being told, for the cast and the crew behind getting it done, that I want to see more. That's why I was like, you know what? Can I jump into this in the second season? Maybe, but I couldn't. And I'm glad I didn't, because it's something that I think you want to not only grow the appreciation with the characters, but I think it should be on everybody's forefront to know the folks that are behind getting this done. And the one thing I will say, especially going into the first episode, is, and I don't even know if I said this or it's just been in my head, there is a lot of heart in the first episode. And it tells you, it gives you that very authentic Asian household feel, which I think that is something we don't see a lot on television. And Sandra Oh is a big advocate of getting these type of things on television, and the fact that we are getting more representation, we are telling more Asian stories, and rather if it's still blanketed by the drama of fighting crime and whatnot, you still get a glimpse into the household to say, like, you know what, I feel appreciated to be able to get a glimpse in this and to understand how it operates, and that's a good thing. So like, there's a lot of heart in this show. But like I said, when it comes down to which ultimately caught my eye is that, one, is this a superhero? No, because most of the superhero stuff are DC properties.
Right.
But it's Kung Fu. So what we doing? Are we kicking butt or whatnot? And that's why I say we got a lot of questions going forward, especially with Nicky and her quote unquote abilities. And for one person to I ain't gonna say one, because there may be potential some other folks coming along to fight some crime.
What I noticed too is a lot of the female characters in the show are doing majority of the fighting.
Yes,
like they're just going off on the dudes on this show. Like usually, like you don't really get too much, like especially a female lead beating everybody up. You know what I mean? Like, so a lot of the females in the show are badasses. Like I really appreciate that, because you really don't get a lot of that. And like you said, with the family. The family situation, like you haven't really seen like an Asian family show since the show with Simu Liu on Netflix, Convenience, like that type of show. But this also does a mix of like the fighting and that heart of the family in the show as well. So it's really good.
Great balance.
But like I said, outside the one white dude in the show, Evan, that was it. I'm like, is everybody a trained martial artist in this show? Or
I said the same thing, But yeah, you bring up a good point, bringing about Evan. I mean, Nicky is the one who's definitely there to protect him.
Right.
They're writing strong female characters that aren't damsels in distress. They're writing the ones who are actually going out to do the job, and that's dope. That's the besides the whole idea that yes, everybody can obviously fight. Right. It's the fact that, like, yeah, we're not seeing these very what should I say? These very, I almost want to say slanderous, but very much these gender norms that we have known for so many years. We're seeing all these things being tested in this, and that's good. Which, to the point that, like, while sometimes within some of the CW shows, and even with this, you know, the plot is the plot, but the story you take from out of the plot and out of the show, I think, supersedes anything that you're watching within the crime in the streets of San Francisco.
So one thing, and like I said, one thing, and we can end on this, but one thing that they do consistently is they still have, like, the story. They have a team, and then that team works with the main person who goes out to do what they need to do.
you got the person behind the keyboard.
Right, which was like her one friend. I was like, okay, this is all the elements right here from every other show right here in Kung Fu with just the fighting. So
yeah,
like I said, I mean, pretty cool so far. Like I said, I definitely want to go back and watch the first season, because it's only 13 episodes. But yeah, like you said, you definitely can't just jump into season 2 not seeing season 1 and know what's going on, because I mean, that definitely adds a lot of the emotion you would have to the characters, obviously, as you will watch through it. But pretty good so far.
Yeah. But yeah, this is, you know, we're talking episodes 1 and episode 2 of season 2 of Kung Fu, which will be available for you to check out, because season 2 is coming back March 9th, Wednesdays. It's turning up Wednesdays on the CW. Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So episode 1 will be there, and then the next week you'll get episode 2, which is on the 16th, and then you can obviously watch this on the CW app or CWTV.com. So, and free, by the way. Yeah, and when you do, let us know your thoughts. I mean, this just so you know, you got time now to go catch up on season 1. So, like I said, 13 episodes. Go check it out. And then, you know, once you get a chance, come back through, check out this review, our little discussion, our little non-spoiler preparation for things you can expect for very, because there's some things that happen. And just to kind of give you just a little bit of an idea, I mean, like I said, Nicky does, you know, she gets some help from a very unlikely place that is kind of game changing when you think about it. So
a lot of revelations,
and I can't even say what I was about to say, because damn, that would
everything is a spoiler. With these episodes, like it's hard. Like,
well, we're happy to have a chance to check out the first 2 episodes. But yes, you check them out. Jump in the comments and let us know your thoughts about Kung Fu, and stay tuned for more reviews coming from Big O Belt Media very soon.
See you.